Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York, and this is 5th grade math, Module 3 review, Lesson 6. Today we're going to learn to subtract fractions from a whole number. So in our quick review section here, it says changing an improper fraction to a mixed number, and to do that, we need to figure out how many 3/3 there are at 11/3. So 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3. Well, that gives us 9/3. If I added another 3/3, that would give me 12. That would be too many. So 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3 will give me 9/3, plus another 2/3 would give me 11/3. This is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2/3. It's going to give us 3 2/3. The quicker way we can do that too is we can just divide 11 by 3. How many times does 3 go into 11? Well, 3 will go into 11 three times with a remainder of 2, with 2 left over. That remainder of 2 is going to go in our numerator over our denominator of 3. So we get 3 2/3 that way as well. Now we're going to do rewriting a whole number as a fraction. So 1 is the same as 8/8. 1 is the same as 6/6. So when we're looking for 1, we just need to make our numerator the same as our denominator, which makes it really easy for us when we need to find like denominators. So let's look at number 1. It says 1 minus 1/2. So I'm going to rewrite 1 as 2/2. And then I'm going to subtract 1/2. So this 1 becomes 2/2. And then this half becomes 1/2. Right over here. I subtract 2/2 minus 1/2, and I get 1/2 left over. Now, if we want to check that, we can do 1/2 plus 1/2. And we get 2/2, which equals 1. All right, let's do number 2. Now we want to make 1 whole into thirds. Well, 1 whole will give us 3/3. I'm going to take my 2/3, put it over here. 3/3 minus 2/3. And that will give us 1/3. And again, we could check 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 3/3, which equals 1 whole. Now we want to turn our 1 whole into fifths. Well, 1 whole will become 5/5 minus here 3/5. That's going to give us 2/5. 2/5 plus 3/5 equals 5/5, which equals 1 whole. So we're just turning our whole number into a fraction. We subtract. All right, so What happens if there is more than 1? So what if we're subtracting from 2? Well, to make 2 wholes into fifths, for example, if we had 1 whole, that would be 5/5. But we have 2 wholes, so we have 5/5 plus 5/5. And that's going to give us 10/5. And then I'm going to take our 1/5 over here. We'll end up with 9/5. And again, we can turn that into a mixed number. We're not going to leave it 9/5. 9/5 is 5/5 plus 4/5. So it's 1 and 4/5. 5/5 is 1 plus another 4/5. 2 minus 1/5 is 1 and 4/5. And again, if we know if we add 1/5 to 1 and 4/5, well, that 4 would become a 5, and we get 1 and 5/5, which would equal 2. What if we have 5, and we want to make 5 into fourths? Well, if we multiply 5 times 4, we get 20. So 20 fourths would be 5. Because look, if we do make 2 into fifths, when we do 5/5 plus 5/5, what we're really doing is repeated addition here. We have 5/5 2 times 5 over 5. 2 times 5/5. Well, 2 times 5/5 is 10/5. 4 times 4/4 is 20/4. So 5 becomes 20/4. Then we subtract 3/4. And we'll end up with 17/4. Well, 4 goes into 17 4 times. That would give us 16 with 1/4 left over. So we're going to have 4 and 1/4. Next, we have 3 minus 2/3. We can turn our 3 into thirds. But let's try this one a different way. So let's say we have 3, and we want to make that into thirds. Let's call that 2 and 3/3. Because 3 is really 2 plus 3/3. And then let's say we subtract 2/3. We'll just subtract our fractions. Well, 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3. And then we leave our 2. And this is going to give us 2 and 1/3. If we did it the other way, making 3 into thirds, well, that would give us 9/3 minus 2/3, which would give us 7/3. 3 goes into 7 2 times with 1/3 left over, which would give us 2 and 1/3. So either way, it's 2 and 1/3. This is just a little easier at the end because we don't need to simplify quite as much. So the same thing goes here. If we do 2 minus 5/6, well, 2 and 6 would be 12/6. Because 6/6 is 1. 12 sixths is 2. But let's leave the 1 as a whole number. We'll call it 1 6 sixths because we're subtracting a number that's less than 1. And then we can subtract 5 sixths from that 6 sixths. And we'll get 1 1 sixth. 1 1 sixth plus another 5 sixths would give us 2. Next we have 3 and 3 minus 7 eighths. 3 is going to become 2 and 8 eighths. Minus 7 eighths equals 2 and 1 eighth. And lastly, we have 7 minus 7 ninths. So we have 6 and 9 ninths minus 7 ninths equals 6 and 2 ninths. All right. And that's just a lot faster than doing it. I mean, we can also do 7 times 9 is 63, and we can make 7 into 63 ninths. And then we subtract 7 from 63. And we would get 56. 56 ninths. And then we would have 9 goes into 56 6 times. So we'd have 6 and 6 times 9 would be 54, and we would have 2 left over. So it would give us 2 ninths. Both will give us the same answer. This way we have to simplify or reduce a whole lot less. So to review, our steps for subtracting whole numbers, or subtracting a fraction from a whole number. First, we need to regroup the whole number. Next, we need to subtract fractions. And then we need to reduce. All right, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you next time.